the Storm hold Caitlin Clark to 20 points and dominate the Fever. Welcome back to another episode of the Seattle Sports Show, where we love Seattle pro sports. I'm your host, Mikey, and today we are talking about another Seattle Storm win over the Indiana Fever, 103-88. And it wasn't even really that close. I mean, the Storm held Caitlin Clark to 20 points. This is her coming off a historical rookie performance in which she scored like 30 points and a bunch of other stats. You know, she was like the first one ever that scored like 30 points plus like 5 or more assists and 5 or more this and that. You know, it's one of those ones where you go, okay, you take all those. That was the first time a rookie had ever done it. You know, so she's coming off of this historical performance, and the Storm are able to hold her to just 20 points and limit her effectiveness and really frustrate her. I mean, you know, she got a technical in this one, in which she went after Victoria Vivians after she had just buried a 3 in which she was pretty wide open. I mean, the screen was set up for her, so Victoria Vivians had gotten screened. Clark was wide open. Vivians, you know, she still closed out, as you should. You know, she worked her way, you know, through the screen, and then when she did, she closed out on Caitlin Clark. But then on the way down to the other end of the court, Caitlin starts going after Victoria, and they end up calling a double tech. So I don't know what was said, but it was heated enough that both players drew a technical, and it was just so odd that Caitlin was the one that went after Victoria here. Like, she just buried a 3. Like, what's she doing that for? Didn't really make any sense at the time. And rookie, you don't want none. Trust me. I mean, Caitlin Clark, she's a great shooter. She cannot handle the physicalness. She couldn't handle it in college. You think you're going to handle the physical play, the physical players at the WNBA level? No, these are grown women. Okay? You're not going to want none. Trust me. You don't need to be getting up in Victoria Vivian's face. She'd handle you no problem. You just stick to shooting and passing. That's what you're good at. But Caitlin Clark's always been like that. You know, that's one of the things that I think people like about her. She's hot headed. You know, she's she's that way in college, and she's going to be that way in the WNBA. She's got a hot head, and you know, it's going to get her into trouble sometimes. It didn't really help her team out tonight. I mean, like I said, our team did fantastic. You know, played great defense on her, and continued to frustrate her all night long. And on the offensive end, you could tell that the chemistry is just continuing to build for this team, and it really led to a huge win. Again, the final score, it says we won by 15, but much of the second half we were up by 20 or more. You know, the last 5 minutes where we had the bench in, they scored a little bit. The Fever did, and you know, got to within 15, but it really was never that close. Again, that chemistry led to us getting a season high point total here, 103 points. And listen to the stat line for this, okay? Nneka Ogwumike, 17 points, 16 assists. Ezzy Magbor, 15 points, 3 assists. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 18 points, 9 assists. Jewel Lloyd, 22 points, 6 assists. So look at that. Your core four, all in the double digits in the points, all dishing the ball to each other, getting those assists. You love to see it. You love to see it. And then if you want to know the other lines, Agumake had 2 steals, a block, 6 rebounds. Ezzy had 8 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 blocks. One of them an emphatic one on Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark learned, hey, you can't just go to the lane easily when Ezzy Magbagor is down there. Nuh-uh. Magbagor, with those 4 blocks, by the way, reached 200 career blocks. Remember, she's only been in the league, what, 4 years? Is that right? Is it 4 or 5 now? I know because she came over from Australia, so she got in younger than most. So this will be her 5th year, and only 24 years old, and 200 blocks already. You just love having her on your team. All right, so Ezzy had a great night. Diggins Smith, we already mentioned the assist, 2 rebounds. She also had 2 blocks. Just what a night. What a night. Our bench, Jordan Horson, again, doing great things off the bench in this game. 12 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Again, if she can really work that role where she is the 6th player off the bench, then I think that is actually the perfect role for her right now. She's outscoring Victoria Vivians, but I think I really like the way the lineup is right now. I like Vivians in there starting, having that veteran presence, and then Horson coming in. It brings the energy when she gets in there, when you need to give some of the other starters a rest. Wickham had 4 points. Mercedes Russell had 7 points and 5 rebounds. Just great stuff overall. Now, listen to this. Field goal percentage 56%, 3-point shooting much improved, 42%. That's what we expect to see from this team. I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but at one point, the Storm, to start the season, we had the worst 3-point percentage, field goal percentage in the league. That wasn't going to hold up, because that's just not the way this team is constructed, and sure enough, it's not the case anymore. And we expect to see a lot more of these 40, in the 40% range for our team from 3-point. But yeah, great team win. Just overall great energy. Yeah, great. I know we talked about the chemistry of the offense just now, but actually, we got to mention the chemistry and the team defense again, just because so much improved over last year. Last year, defensively, this team just they could not do it. But this year, they're flying around, they're talking, they're rotating quick. I mean, that was one of the things that was so hard to watch last year. Was it's just seemed like nobody knew where they were rotating or who was supposed to be rotating, and not getting there in time. Whereas so far this year, yeah, the communication is there, the rotations are quick to get to the for the defender to get to the next person, and yeah, they're just they're all over him out there, and it's great to see. Again, on a night where you're able to hold Clark to 20 points, you feel good about that because she is so amazing, right? Um, you know, if, there's a lot being said about Clark is her team's 1-8, but I don't know what people were expecting. Again, you know she's drafted #1 overall for a reason. One, she's great, but the worst team gets to pick the first pick, and you know it's not going to be easy to win. I mean, I recently heard Sue Bird talking about her transition to the WNBA. It's professional now. It's not college. You're not just playing against other amateurs who aren't going to make it to the next level, or who are just fresh out of high school, and less experience. Like, everybody's here's a grown woman and has experience and is at the top of the game. WNBA is the best women's basketball league in the world. Uh, and it's tough. Like Sue Bird said, like she lost like what one game in her entire college career, and when she got drafted, they went through a couple of years where only won a handful of games. Same thing. I mean, I just recently listening to Jewel Lloyd and Brianna Stewart talk about it. Yeah, the Storm picked first overall pick in back-to-back years because the team was not doing good, and even in those players' first years, the first year that Brianna Stewart and Jewel Lloyd played together, still barely won. Right? It's tough to win in this league, and it's going to take time. But you could see all the talent that Caitlin Clark has. It's all there. I mean, she did still have 9 assists tonight. But again, the Storm were all over her. They were hounding her, and it was frustrating her. And I think that was great. If you can get in Caitlin Clark's head, that's a good way to beat her. Because again, you saw that in college, and she's going to have to deal with the life of being a professional player, and going to a league where everybody's at the top of their game, and you're going to a team that that's not at the same level. So this is going to be her first time. Remember, a lot of times when players get to the professional level, and they experience losing, it's their first time experiencing that kind of loss. A lot of times, the players who make it to the pros, they were the best player at their high school, and they were so good they helped their high school win. Right? Then they go on to be a college player, and they're one of the best players or the best player at their college, and help their team win a majority of the time. And sometimes the best player from college goes to the professional leagues, and they don't get to pick where they go. They have to go to the worst team, and that might mean you lose a lot. And it takes a long time to be able to adjust to that and to handle that. So we'll see. I know we still have games against the Fever at some point down the line, and we'll see how Caitlin Clark's doing then. But hopefully the Storm can still get inside the head of Caitlin Clark, keep her frustrated, keep her point total low. She's such a great passer, great vision, and so I don't know how you can really stop assists, especially if you're going to be double teaming her so much. But you take what you can get when you're playing with against a star of her caliber. But yeah, just overall great game for the Storm, fun one to watch. Go check it out. And let me know what you thought of this one. All right, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave those comments. Podcast listeners do the same thing. Follow, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating and a written review on Apple Podcasts because it helps the show grow. And thanks for listening to the Seattle Sports Show, where we watch legends awaken. So take cover, because with this CF sound, you will see us rise to reign supreme and win forever.